Jumbo, everybody. In today's video, I am folding a gigantic pile of laundry, and I wanted to do a touch base with you guys because it's been a little while since I've given you an update, and I did want to talk a little bit about the whole move to Florida, move to Ohio, channel name switch, like what is going on. So since I have this massive pile of laundry, I'm going to fold laundry and we're going to have a chat, you and me. So if you guys have laundry to fold, go ahead and grab it. So if you guys have been following my channel for a while or any length of time, you have seen, and I've been a little more open on it on Instagram, a channel name change and content change and a camera. Obviously the camera quality now is a whole lot different, and you saw us go to Florida and come back and all the things. And so I wanted to fill you guys in on why, what happened, what we're doing now, and all of that, because I didn't really go over that too much here on my YouTube channel. So this was the end of May of last year, my husband and I were just generally unhappy. There was just a lot of stuff going on, and we knew that we wanted to make a change, but we weren't quite sure what we needed to make a change, just in, overall life situations. And so we were watching My Lottery Dream Home, which I love David Bromstead. If you guys watch My Lottery Dream Home, it's like my favorite show on Fridays. I love it. Okay. So anyway, so we were watching that, and my husband came up with the idea of, you have a lot of Disney fans talking to me, which I do. A lot of you guys are Disney fans. And he said, if there was ever a time to do it, we should do it now. Why don't we move down to Orlando for a year, get Disney content on your channel because your fans really like that kind of thing. Why don't we just do it? There's nothing holding us here. So this was at the end of May last year. So we ended up selling our house. Our house was on the market for 3 days. We got an offer and accepted it, set to close 1 month later. So that was in June, set to close early July, like right around the 4th of July, somewhere around there. So we ended up selling all of our belongings. We sold our bed, we sold our kitchen table, we sold everything because we knew the move down to Orlando was going to be a temporary thing. So we didn't see any need in picking up all of our stuff, getting a moving truck, bringing it down there, yada, 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 like all that different type of logistic stuff. We were like, we'll just get some cheapo stuff from Amazon. It's totally fine. It'll be fine for a year. And then once we're done with Disney and doing all of that kind of stuff, we'll come back up here and we'll get a house up here, yada, yada. So we sold everything. During this time, my father-in-law got really ill suddenly, like totally unexpectedly. And so at that point in time, we were like, well, do we go? Do we stay? Like, what do we do? And in talking to him, he said, go, go do your thing, come up and visit, da, 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 da. We didn't really know the severity of how he was doing and everything. So the closing on the house happened. Very shortly after that, my father-in-law passed away. And so at that point in time, we were like, okay, we don't have a house. We don't have belongings. Do we stay? Do we go? What do we do? So my brother-in-law ended up moving his family up to Columbus temporarily to help my mother-in-law out. And so while he was up here, we decided to be kind of commuters. So we were going to do a few weeks down in Orlando at Disney, come back up, do a few weeks up here, visit family, help with whatever we needed to help with, go back down there and just kind of be like a bit of a commuter kind of. And my family wanted that too. They didn't want me gone for a real long time either. So we ended up getting a condo down near Gaylord Palms, which was about 5 minutes or 8 minutes from the Epcot parking lot, really, really close. And so then, while we were down there, we were like, okay, so this is going to be a Disney content channel. We need to change my channel name, all of that kind of stuff. Because I was starting to get really into the Disney community, right? It was kind of like a thing. So we started to do the live stream stuff. And then I started researching about electromagnetic frequencies, and I didn't want my husband carrying around the streaming backpack and all of that kind of stuff. So then we were like, okay, well, we could do vlogs, or we could do Instagram stories, yada, yada, yada. Fast forward to October of last year, my brother-in-law needed to move his family back to Washington where they live. And so we didn't want my mother-in-law to be up here in Columbus by herself because it was just, very emotional, too much to handle. So what we ended up doing is we cut our lease down in Orlando and we moved back up here to Columbus. And so now we are currently living in my mother-in-law's house until we end up finding a place of our own and figuring out, where to live around here in Columbus and all that. So here's where I'm at right now. So my channel name is not going to change. I'm going to keep it Annie Ever After. And I've decided that because, Annie's Simple Life, I don't exactly know where the actual name came from all these many years removed now. That was probably back in 2010 or something. There's very little about my life that is simple. And I feel like it just doesn't fit me anymore. But I feel like Annie Ever After with that little diamond that comes across is much more me than Annie Simple Life was. So I'm going to keep the channel name, plus YouTube's not letting me change it back anyway. So I'm just kind of like stuck with it anyway. It just kind of is what it is. But being up here, it's kind of like I don't know what the content is anymore for my channel. Like I'm having almost like an identity crisis or something. And I feel like a lot of creatives, influencers, whatever you want to call people who put their lives on YouTube kind of go through this at some point in time in their lives. People change channel names, people change content structures and all of that. The content that I used to do on Annie's Simple Life with organization and cleaning and all of that kind of stuff, I still love that type of content. I love watching it. I love doing it. It's hard to do it when you don't have your own house to do it in. And so that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know where my content is now. So I want to hear from you guys, like what kind of content, would you like to see me do? Or would you like to see on this channel? Like, is there something that you really enjoy watching? Disney's definitely still going to be in the picture. I have learned a lot of tips and tricks from being a Disney local for 3 months, and all of that kind of thing. Like we got Florida resident annual passes. Like I have an annual pass for Disney. When we were down there, we went literally to the parks every single day. We learned a little bit of like what it's like to be a local down there, which is totally different than what it's like being a vacationer down at Disney. And I can tell you that I prefer being a vacationer down at Disney, but I did get a lot of tips and tricks on how to do Disney well. And so Disney's definitely still going to be part of this channel. And we will be going back down there whenever the harmonious fireworks changeover happens at Epcot, which I've heard fall now. I don't know when that's going to be. So Disney content's definitely part of this channel. But I want to know what else you guys want to see. And there will be a home search or a condo search or some sort of living situation search at some point. So I will share that with you guys too. But in the meantime, I can't really reorganize my mother-in-law's pantry or, clean much more of the house than I just like use myself. You know what I mean? So it feels weird. And I feel like I'm at a crossroads and like just trying to find my place in the world again. I don't know. It's just a very odd feeling. Almost like an identity crisis. So I'm pleading to you guys to give me your ideas. I definitely want to do some more collabs with some of my YouTube friends. That's something that I really, really, really enjoy doing. I was having some just kind of like personal, emotional stuff throughout most of 2019, but it started at the end of 2018. And so it was hard for me to put myself online just being in this kind of like down in the dumps, like, I don't know. I don't want to call it a depression, but I'm going to call it that because I don't know what else to call it. It started in October of 18 and it didn't really like go away. And 2019 was just a very dark, dark time. And so I feel like at least I'm coming out of that, which is good. I love sitting down and talking to you guys. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, definitely pop over there because that's where I spend most of my time. It's a little easier to just pick up my phone and chat than like put the camera out and then edit things down and da-da-da-da-da. But I definitely want to have more regular content on my YouTube channel because that's where it all started for me. Like I don't feel like an Instagrammer. I felt like when we were down at Disney and I was taking like all those different types of, really pretty pictures around the park with a really nice camera, it just didn't feel authentic to me, like just being like a model. Not a model at all in any stretch of the imagination, but I was just trying to like figure my way out. I have no idea what I was doing. So definitely feel more comfortable getting back on YouTube, and I don't know. But I definitely do more Insta stories than static posts on Instagram. So if you guys are interested in like the day-to-day behind the scenes stuff, definitely go check out my Instagram. So all that to say, I appreciate your patience as I go through this identity crisis and figuring out like where I fit in this whole YouTube sphere again, because I feel like I'm a stranger or something. Like it just, I don't know, feels weird, feels very strange, but we'll make it work, you and me. And the thing that's kind of hard too is that there's still a lot of grief in the house. I mean, you know, grief is a tricky thing. You know, we have our good days and we have our bad days, and you know, all we can do is offer our support, but then it's kind of like, you know, where do we find our own life in that again too? You know, it's like it's a tricky situation. Okay, laundry's done. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you haven't already and you'd like to, hit that button down below, subscribe so you never miss a daily video. See y'all soon. Thanks for watching. Ciao.